Silent Hill 2 is often regarded as one of the best survival horror games of all time, and just like Resident Evil 4 and Dead Space, it's getting the remake treatment. Whether you're experiencing the game for the first time or returning for a visually updated dose of nostalgia, here's everything you need to know about Bloober Team's remake of Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 will be a retelling of the story from the original version of the game that was released back in 2001. Set in the titular town, Silent Hill 2 sees writer James Sunderland searching for his long-dead wife, Mary, after seemingly receiving a letter from her. There, James finds a number of ghastly horrors awaiting him, including famous enemies like Pyramid Head, as well as the unhinged Eddie Dombrowski. Is Mary still alive, or could there be a darker force at play here? Fortunately for spooky fans, the remake of Silent Hill 2 will remain a survival horror game. Bloober Team has taken many steps to ensure the essence of the 2001 version is kept intact, including consulting with the original developers throughout the process. However, the remake is also being modernized to better fit modern expectations. For example, similar to the remakes of Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, Silent Hill 2 will utilize an over-the-shoulder perspective rather than the zoomed-out fixed camera view more common in horror games at the turn of the century. Silent Hill 2 also improves upon combat by making things a bit more fluid, adding a dodge button and an aiming reticle. However, as Jessica Cogswell said in our hands-on preview of the game, the overall combat experience isn't a complete overhaul. Jess wrote, quote, "For some, this could be frustrating, as it still has the light dusting of PS2 jank. That's something the Resident Evil remakes have more or less done away with. However, I found that the remake's combat actually feels perfectly in service to the rest of the game. Part of what makes Silent Hill 2 as terrifying as it is are those small bursts of panic and tension that arise from its cumbersome combat. The remake feels to accept and build upon this, taking away the more unruly and frustrating aspects of combat while letting the game retain its sense of friction. Combat feels solid in Silent Hill 2, but it's not at the forefront. The immersion trailer, released on September 20th, shows various locations in the Silent Hill 2 remake and provides details about how the PS5's DualSense features help players get immersed in the gameplay. The controller's haptic feedback can be felt when hitting enemies with close-range weapons, and the adaptive triggers give off resistance when shooting the firearms. The controller's light bar changes colors depending on the status of the player's HP, and since Silent Hill 2 is a horror game, the PS5's 3D audio is also a highlight. Though a few members of the original Konami Silent Hill 2 team are working on the remake, the primary development studio is Bloober Team. The Polish studio has specialized in horror games over the last several years, having released games like Layers of Fear, The Medium, and Blair Witch. Silent Hill 2 will still be by far the highest profile game that Bloober Team has created to date. The remake has garnered a somewhat polarizing response from the horror community, with some players expressing concern over the direction of the project. But after our 3-hour hands-on preview with the game, Jessica Cogswell wrote that the remake is significantly better than its marketing materials have indicated. She said, "In short, I was incredibly impressed by the time I spent with Silent Hill 2. It's surreal, cerebral, horrifying, and grotesque. All of the things that made the original title such a remarkable title. Not only for Konami, but for the horror genre as well." Silent Hill 2 will be released as a console exclusive for PlayStation 5 on October 8th, 2024, but will also be available on PC via Steam. Anyone looking to play the game any other way will have to wait until after October 8th, 2025, when the exclusivity ends. There are two different versions of the game to choose from, Standard and Deluxe. The Standard Edition costs $70 and comes with the base game as well as the Robbie the Rabbit mask and the Mira the Dog mask. The Deluxe Edition costs $80, comes with everything in the Standard Edition as well as a digital art book and soundtrack, a Pyramid Head mask, and 48-hour early access. making the game playable on October 6th instead. A hill that is silent, a wife that may still be alive, and lots of fog. That's everything you need to know about the remake of Silent Hill 2. For even more on the game, including our review, keep it locked to Gamespot.